Today, we are going to unlock a huge piece of the puzzle for speaking natural, everyday European Portuguese. And believe it or not, it all comes down to one single, super powerful verb that is going to completely change the way you express yourself. So let me ask you this. If you could only master one verb, the one that does the most heavy lifting in just about any conversation, which one would it be? You might think it's to be, or maybe to go, right? Well, for so many situations, the answer is actually this one right here, tener. Now, it literally means to have, but its real power, its secret sauce, is in all the other jobs it does. Honestly, getting a handle on tener is one of the fastest ways to start sounding less like you're reading from a book and way more like a local. Okay, but before we can unleash this verb, we've got to know how to use it. Like any good verb, it changes depending on who we're talking about. So first things first, let's get the present tense forms down cold. All right, take a look at this. You can really see the pattern here. It starts with eu tenho, I have, then tu tens, you have. For a single person, you formal or he or she, it's just tem. Then for us, nós temos. And here's the one to watch out for. For you all or they, it's têm. See that little accent on the E? It's a tiny detail, but it's super important for getting it right. Okay, so let's start with what's probably already familiar. The most direct, the most obvious use of tener is exactly like our English verb to have, when you're talking about stuff you own or the people in your life. And you can see it right here in these examples. Tanya tem a laptop, she owns it. We temos an apartment. This even works for physical traits, like Sonia Tang, blue eyes. And for family, of course, tenho dois irmãos. This part is pretty straightforward, right? It's a direct one-to-one match with English. No tricks here. All right, you've got the basics down. Now we get to the fun part. This is where ter goes from being just a useful verb to a real game changer. This is the Portuguese twist, and it's where so many English speakers get a little mixed up. We're talking about feelings and age. So think about it. In English, we use the verb to be for this stuff. You say, I am hungry, or she is cold. But in Portuguese, well, how do you think that works? This is a really, really crucial difference. Look at this. This slide is everything. In Portuguese, you don't are a feeling, you have a feeling. So you wouldn't say, I am hot. You say, eu tenho calor. Literally, I have heat. He isn't afraid, he has fear. Ele tem medo. You have hunger. It's a total shift in how you think about it, and getting this down will make you sound so much more natural. And guess what? This exact same logic, this same idea of having something instead of being something, applies to another thing we talk about all the time, our age. Yep, just like feelings, in Portuguese, you don't are an age, you have years. So instead of I am 21, it's eu tenho 21 anos. I have 21 years. Instead of my brother is 18, it becomes o meu irmão tem 18 anos. Once this clicks, you'll never make that super common beginner mistake again. It's such a simple rule. This here is a fantastic little summary. It really pulls together a bunch more examples of using ter for these unique situations. Sensations, facts, descriptions. You see things like tenho fome for I'm hungry and tenho calor for I'm hot. Seriously, you might want to pause here and just let these examples sink in. They really drive that core idea home. Okay, so we've learned the forms, we've learned the rules. The theory is great and all, but let's see how this actually works in a real back and forth conversation. This is where it all starts to feel real. Okay, so here's a perfect everyday question. Someone might just casually ask you, tens irmãos? They're using that informal you form, tens, to ask if you have any siblings. And the most natural way to answer, you don't even need to say sim for yes. You just say, tenho, I have. Then you can add the details. Tenho dois irmãos. See how clean and efficient that is? It's perfect. And now for the big one we just talked about. This is how you ask someone's age. Quantos anos tens? Literally, how many years do you have? You can hear that tier logic right there in the question itself. And the answer, of course, follows that same exact rule. It's not I am 15, it's tenho 15 anos. I have 15 years. Simple, correct, and perfectly Portuguese. Let's try one more. This time we'll use a sensation and ask a whole group of people. Vocês têm frio? Notice the verb here is tem, with the accent, the one for you all. Are you guys cold? Or literally, do you all have cold? And check out this brilliant response, so much packed into a few words. Não temos frio, mas ele tem. No, we don't have cold, but he does. This one little sentence uses two different forms of TER right next to each other, which just goes to show you how vital this verb is in conversation. So let's just boil this all down. What are the absolute must-knows? Number 1, use TER for what you possess, your things, your family, your physical traits, but also for your age and your sensations, like hunger or cold. 2, remember those forms tenho, tens, tem, temos, tem. And 3, keep your ears open for questions that start with tens or tame, because you are going to hear them all the time. So there you have it. You now have the key to unlocking so many more natural conversations. You have the knowledge, you have the examples, so the only real question left is, what will you say you have? A question? Maybe a new sense of confidence? Go out there and give it a shot.